Hi folks, here's a way that you can take an Excel graph and spice it up just a little bit. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with an Excel bar graph, and then we're going to convert it to a graph that uses a picture to represent the height above the axes. Okay, and so if you look at the data that we have currently, we've got different beer brands, starting with brand 1 and going through brand 9, and we've got alcohol by volume for each of the beers. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start off by creating a simple bar graph. And so we highlight both of those columns. We go to Insert, click on Insert, and then the very first option that we have, and in fact the recommended chart type, is a bar graph. And so we're just going to insert a simple bar graph. Okay, and so here we have alcohol by volume. Each of the different beers are listed from 1 through 9, and the beer is increasing in alcohol volume. Now, one of the things that we have as an option is to change the features inside the bar graph. So once we have our graph, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double left click on the bars in the bar graph. And so when I double left click, it brings up the format data series. You can also right click, so if we clicked on it, if we right click, we can also say format data series. And it'll bring up this format data series window on the right hand side of your screen. And from there, we're going to fill each of these right here with a picture. So we click on fill picture, and so right now it fills it with whatever picture that you have in your clipboard. And at the moment I don't have anything in my clipboard. But instead of using my clipboard, I'm going to go to a file. And note that I've already saved a couple of different pictures to use as my clip art here. And so when I go to File, I'm going to use all picture file types, and then I'm going to My Desktop, and in My Desktop I've got the class that I'm going to be using here. Now here I've got several different pictures of beer. I don't want to use a specific beer brand because in this case I don't have the actual brands listed. I've just got generic brands, brand 1 through brand 9. And I also wanted to save a picture that did not have a background in it. And so you've seen those before when you go online and you look for clip arts and you see pictures that have little checkerboard, gray and white checkerboards in the background. This indicates that it doesn't have a background in the picture, and so that's the ones that I've selected. So we're going to start off by just using a simple beer bottle. So if I select the beer bottle, this PNG, you can also select a JPEG. Those are both fine. And I insert, and you can see that it inserts beer bottles in place of those bars that were in the bar graph. And one of the things I want to do is just simply size the picture or size the graph so that the pictures, at least the pictures to the far left, are proportioned in such a way that it looks like a beer bottle. Now obviously as this beer bottle gets taller, we're dealing with more alcohol per volume of that beer. And so now this Pareto graph or this bar graph that's ordered by alcohol content is available for us to copy and paste into a presentation. Some other adjustments that you may want to make, if we go back to the bottles, so to speak, and we double click, let's try that again, we double click on the bottles, one of the things that it offers up is the ability to change the gap width. Now we may want to reduce the gap between our bottles, but if we do that, we also want to reproportion our graph so that, again, that very first beer bottle looks like your typical beer bottle. So what if we wanted to change this to another picture? Well, all we would need to do is go back, click on the beer bottles, make sure that they're all highlighted or they're all available to change here. Go back to the fill, and where we fill with the file, it's going to carry us back to the files, and we're going to click on the beer glass instead. Now you can see this one, the background was for some reason was included. It's probably because it's a JPEG instead of a PNG. But just remember, whatever picture that you intend to use, try it out and make sure that you don't have a background in it. We can also go online and search for pictures online. And so if we wanted to use Duff beer, a beer that is famous from the TV show The Simpsons, we can click on Duff beer, and there we go. And so we've got each of these different beer brands arranged in order by alcohol that's contained in the beer by volume. So this is just one way that you can spice up your graphs and make them more interesting than your typical bar graphs or line graphs or other types of graphs that you would see in a presentation. You can use this to make your presentations more interesting. You can make your presentations capture more people's attention or keep more people's attention as you go through it. So I hope this helps. This is just a quick tutorial on how to insert pictures as items in a graph in Excel. Thanks for watching.